Hey cruisers, I'm Sherry with CruiseTipsTV.com. Welcome back to this week's cruise news segment. We have a lot to review with you today, and most of it is good and exciting news. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends at cruiseline.com, where you can find reviews, tips, and photos from real everyday cruisers. Be sure to check out their website in the description of this video. Let's get into the cruise news today. The first news Carnival loyalists were so excited about today, and that is that Carnival Cruise Line's next Excel class ship has been named, and she is to be called Carnival Celebration. Now, her debut will coincide with Carnival's 50th birthday celebration, 50th anniversary celebration, whatever you want to call it, and she will debut from the Port of Miami in 2022. However, she is going to enter service on February 6th, 2021 from Port Canaveral. So for those of you who aren't familiar with this ship, she will be the sister ship to Mardi Gras. Very exciting news. Let us know in the comments below what you think about the name Carnival Celebration. We're so excited. The next bit of news we want to share with you today is from MSC Cruises, and we've all been watching MSC Grandiosa for the last week as she was one of the first cruise ships to re-enter service during this crazy global emergency, and everything went beautifully well. We heard directly from MSC Cruises, and we want to share with you a little bit about what they said about how things went on Grandiosa. They said that MSC Grandiosa arrived yesterday. Now that's actually last Sunday, so this is a little bit out of date, at the port of Genoa to end her cruise, and she departed on time from Genoa in the evening on Sunday for her next cruise, which is the same itinerary. Everything ran smoothly, both in terms of disembarkation from the first cruise and embarkation for the next one. At the same time, there is some information that we need you all to know because this has a lot to do with the future of cruising, potentially in North America, so stay tuned for this part. I promise you're going to want to listen. To start with, on Saturday, while the ship was on her way back to Genoa from Valletta, Malta, a port stop on the cruise, all of the guests who went ashore in the port of Malta were required to take a mandatory test required by the Italian authorities prior to re-entering Italy. All of the passengers tested negative, which is a great indication for how the safety protocol is working on board MSC Grandiosa. So we're very happy to hear that. Now, another piece of information that is relatively newly released, this came directly from MSC, is a situation that developed on turnaround day. So that the day that the first cruise ended and the second cruise started, here's what happened. A young man tested positive at embarkation. That was the first test that he took. That was an antigen test followed by a second molecular test. As a result, he and his traveling party were denied boarding, so his entire family. And there were some other guests, 15 in total, including the young man and his family, who had traveled to Genoa by van together, and all of them were denied boarding. So MSC is doing everything that they can to keep their passengers safe, and unfortunately that did mean that they had to deny boarding to this gentleman who was tested twice and tested positive. Other than that, it is reported that life on board in the early phases of the cruise went very well, and everything's going great. People are enjoying the restaurants, cafes, the shops, so things are going very, very well. Also, the excursions that MSC has been operating, they're called protected ashore visits, where you can only go on shore with MSC if you go through one of their protected ashore visits. They went very, very well, and they all completely sold out. So that's how MSC is running right now to keep everyone safe. You can only leave the ship if you book one of their protected ashore visits. In more news this week from MSC, they have canceled their Magnifica sailings until 9/26 due to some testing measures. So they're basically just delaying the restart of MSC Magnifica by about a week. And here's why that is happening. They cited that there's been an introduction of testing measures for residents of Italy who have traveled to Greece. And these particular cruises are visiting Greece. So they found that there was a softening demand, and they just decided to postpone all of this for about 4 weeks. So they've canceled the August 29th through September 19th voyages on Magnifica, and they hope to resume those a little bit later in September. More news from MSC today, and you guys are going to love this. MSC is saying thank you to healthcare heroes around the world for their selfless and tireless contribution to fight the global pandemic, and they are offering special discounted cruise fare for all frontline and back office healthcare professionals and their families. So you, as a healthcare hero, if this applies to you, you can learn more about this by visiting msccruises.com starting August 31st, 2020. So at the time that we're releasing this video, that'll be next week. Check the website, check with your travel agent. We're so excited. And thank you, MSC, for honoring our healthcare heroes. That is just fabulous. Another cruise line based out of Europe, Costa, is restarting cruises and also announced that they will be requiring tests. So they're restarting in September with 2 new itineraries reserved for only Italian guests. They've also received a RINA Biosafety Trust certification, and they have mentioned that they will be giving swab tests to all guests. So in case you're curious about Costa and you live in Italy and you're cruising in Italy, that will apply to you right now. For those of us in North America, it doesn't apply, but very good to know. Cunard has unfortunately extended their pause in operations. They just announced this week that due to the complexity of operating world voyages, they'll be extending their pause in operations from November 2020 until, unfortunately, March 25th, 2021 for Queen Elizabeth, until April 18th, 2021 for QM2, and May 16th, 2021 for the Queen Victoria. Makes sense in that case, but we're sad to hear it. Princess Cruises has also extended a pause on some of theirs. They've actually canceled some of their 2021 world cruises, specifically the Island Princess 2021 World Cruise sailing from North America and the Pacific Princess 2021 Circle South America from Australia have unfortunately been canceled, which is very sad. But again, we understand that there's so much complexity around those world cruises. We'll share some good news with you today as we close out this quick news segment today, and that is that Holland America line is extending their Have It All offer through September 30th. This is a very, very generous offer where they're including free drinks, free gratuities, free specialty dining, and reduced deposits. So check with your travel agent if you are interested in booking with Holland America. In fact, we will link to our travel agency partner in the description of this video below in case you need a good travel agent. We have one for you. We hope that today we have earned your subscription, and before you go, you'll give this video a big old thumbs up. And also, if you're new, please consider subscribing to our channel and turning on the notification bell. We appreciate all of you so very much. Thanks for watching, and until next time, we'll see you on the high seas.